Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Tales of Xillia. In the last episode, we arrived here in Olympias, the strange world of Spyrex. And we also met Alvin's cousin, Balin. Balin had saved us after we landed here in Olympias from, the portal and the temporal crossroads. But we also kind of took a look around town. We kind of viewed some skits and got some side quests and all that other stuff. We also found out Balin had headed over to the Helioborg Fortress, where a few minutes later we found out that it just got attacked. So now we're heading over to the Helioborg Fortress right now to go ahead and save Balin, because he might be in trouble. Anyways, this episode, I'm going to guys give you a fair warning right now. We're not going to get any story progress done in this episode. We might get a little bit. The reason why is because we're going and finishing up those side quests that we got last episode, as well as doing another optional thing that we need to do for future side quest anyways. But anyways, as you guys can see, we've got new enemies here. We got a bird. We got pretty much the same eagle enemy that we have seen in previous areas. This place isn't any different than any other place here in Rize Max here. The only difference is right here, what Rowan just said. It's kind of really dreary. And that's the thing about Olympias. Since Olympias is just, lack of spirits and all that other stuff, the spirits are kind of going extinct here, this place is just turned into practically a wasteland, and you can kind of see it by the environment and all that other stuff. Now, at this point in the game, since we are kind of getting late game, you do have access to those great spirit enemies. Oh no, you do have the great spirit arts. You have access to the Great Spirit Arts from Mila, like you did at the beginning of the game. So Mila can use her all-powerful 4 Great Spirits in battle. So you should keep that in mind. But right here near this tree in Torbalan Highroad, you'll notice there's some characters here. These are the guys that one guy was asking us in the last episode to go ahead and take care of. They're part of that shadow group, but they're pretty much, foot soldier enemies. We have fought plenty of these guys before, so honestly this shouldn't be too much of an issue. So just go ahead and just whack them and just, get rid of them. All that other stuff. At this point in the game, Elise got a new art called Dark Visitor.
Really well. We'll call ourselves the Beauty Link. Beauty? Oh, this is so embarrassing.
You're more like the Beast.
I love that end skit. But yeah, they've got, Elise has got a powerful art called, Dark Visitor, but I'll go in more detail that later. We have a skit here, Jude the Mercenary. This one's probably one of my favorite ones too. So let's go ahead and listen to this one.
Fighting's almost second nature at this point.
You really do have a knack for combat. Maybe you should look into a career as a mercenary. I'd teach you everything you need to know.
Me? A mercenary?
No way. I couldn't bear to see Jude turn out like Alvin. T-Bow's right. Yeah, that wouldn't suit Jude at all.
Nor would I trust Alvin's guidance on the matter.
It's unanimous then. Motion denied.
Ouch, that's harsh. When did I become the least influential member of the party?
Don't worry, Alvin. The least influential member isn't you. That would be the guy whose opinion is completely ignored even when the topic is focused around him.
Well, don't let it get you down, kid.
Oh, I love that skit. It was so funny because it's just like, well, Jude, you should probably take up mercenary work. You think I should? And everybody's like, no, don't be like Alvin. Please, don't do it. And then Mila's like, okay, it's been decided. Jude's not going to do any mercenary work. It's just, Jude's like, what the heck? I didn't even get a say in the matter. I just love that skit for that matter. It's so funny. But anyways, we've got more of these guys here, these little plant mandrago monsters. I will say these guys aren't that bad. Like, I know we've fought plenty of these guys, of course, the LP, but I will say this right now. Later in the LP, like probably in bonus episodes when we take on a special dungeon, these guys are going to be the bane of my existence. I won't get into more detail about that, but every time I see these guys, my first instinct thought is about those bastards later in the game. I will go into more detail about that later. But anyways, now that we've killed those guys, we can actually go back to that one guy in Triglyph and be able to, you know, finish that side quest up. Now we've got a wild boar here. They're pretty much just the same as all the other wild boars here. Just pretty much one thing in particular that I've been doing. I changed up my art since last episode. I don't know if you noticed that. Jude's been getting I've had Beast for a long time, which is an art that Jude kind of like impulses a light-based Hadoken move, but it's in the shape of a lion's head. And I've had this for a while, but I just never used it, and I changed it up so that way Jude can actually have Beast, which is really powerful, and it, you know, leads up to really good linked arts and stuff like that. But what I was meaning to say, and before we get into more detail about that, Elise has a powerful art, and probably her most powerful art ever. It's called Dark Visitor. It's like an area of effect move, and it just like does like scythe darkness damage. It's really powerful, and I love that move. But inside this treasure chest is Specific Plus. And right here on this tree in the first area of Torbalan Highroad are Ifree's treasures. Yes, Ifree's treasures even got over here. They even came over to Olympias. So right here in this tree, there's an Ifree's treasure right here. So let's go ahead and look inside, and it has a monocle inside. Now, you're probably wondering, oh, Ifreed went over here, and we've got a skit right here that kind of just explains everything about why he's in Olympias. This skit right here is called Ifreed's Legacy. Let's go ahead and listen to this one.
Is this another one of Ifreed's arcs? What's it doing on Olympias?
There are words appearing on it.
My name is Ifreed. I'm an explorer seeking a foreign world known as Riza Maxia. When I depart for it, I will gather the treasures I've collected in my adventures on Olympias and place them in arcs near my hometown as a gift to the next generation of adventurers.
Huh. So Ifreed was an Olympian.
He must have found some way to cross the schism to Riza Maxia.
And then he never made it back to Olympias. Never figured there'd be someone else besides you guys crazy enough to go running off to other worlds. Well, let's pay our respects to our predecessor and help ourselves to his loot.
So that kind of gives you a little insight. If you do find a Ifree's treasure here in Olympias, in the actually two or three areas here in Olympias, I will have to say this, Olympias isn't that big of a world. I know, it's really lackluster. I will say this right now. Olympias could have been a lot larger than it is, but we don't spend too much time here in Olympias. Actually, there's like one or two places that we go to, and that's about it. It's pretty sad. And you'll see it when we open up the world map later. You'll understand why. But if you find an Ifree's treasure anywhere in Olympias, and there's about 6 of them, you will get that skit, and that's how you get that one. And it kind of goes into explanation saying, oh, Ifreed was Olympian too. He, you know, traveled to Riza Maxia. But if we go back here in Triglyph and talk to this guy, he says, well done, we have made excellent progress today, but there's still not enough to restore peace in this uncertain world of ours. To do that, we'll continue to need the help of upstanding citizens like yourself. So we went ahead and took care of this side quest. And we got a mystery mask and 11,000 gold. So, we got the title Sub-Event Specialist, which I don't remember what the amount of sub-events that we have, but we're getting close to getting the big title on getting the all the sub quests done. You need to have like 90 side quests done by the end of the game in order to get a title called Sub-Event Superhero, which will get you a trophy, and that's like the highest amount of anything you'll be rewarded with. I do all the side quests in this LP, but so that way if you do miss one, you'll have plenty of chances. You can miss up to a grand total of, I think, 18, because if I remember correctly, in the whole entire game, there is 108 side quests. There's 108 side quests, that's sharing it with Jude and Mila's, so there'll be less depending on what story you're playing. But there are 108 total side quests in the entire game. And that gives you a couple of chances to, you know, miss one. And you can still get the title and stuff like that. What I'm doing right now is I'm kind of preparing my characters for battle, because also on Torbalan Highroad, on the couple of routes in Olympias, there are monsters that are super bosses. We're going to be fighting at one of our first super bosses in the game. And no, it's not a Devil's Beast. You're probably wondering, is it the Devil's Beast? No, we're not fighting Devil's Beast until pretty much late game. Well, this is pretty much late game, but you get my point. We won't be fighting Devil's Beast for a few more episodes from now. We're going to be fighting our first ever super boss here soon. And I was preparing for that fight. Now, one of the super bosses isn't this Devil's Beast. He's actually holder of one special item that we do need in order to complete a special side quest later. But the super boss, is roaming the field in the last area of Torbalan Highroad. But we'll be getting into that later, and I'll go in more detail when we get to there. But as of right now, I think we've gotten everything here on our first screen. I know we haven't really advanced very far. We've advanced a total of one screen this whole entire episode, and we're 11 minutes in the episode already. I'm just going around, you know, finishing up side quests that were here, introductions to monsters and stuff like that we haven't seen before, so that way you know what monster's what. But if we come up here, actually, I think he's here. Yeah, he's on this screen. This monster I was talking about is on this screen. He's right there. You see that gigantic, like, scorpion dragon monster up there? That's that super boss I was talking about. I will say this right now. If you're not in the mid-50s, I wouldn't bother fighting this thing. But since I'm in the mid-50s, we're going to go ahead and do that. Fight this guy. And we also got another title here. It's a loot leader. That's kind of a tongue-tied thing right here. But if we come up here, he will walk very slowly, and we will fight a bird monster. This super boss will walk very slowly over to you, so you have time to run away if you're not starting to fight this guy.
Hey, are we seriously fighting this thing?
I refuse to run from any enemy, no matter how strong.
You're either stupid or
Really courageous. Thank you.
But anyways, this guy right here is Veywind's Eye. This monster is very strong. He's level 62 and he has no weakness. This boss sucks. I'm gonna tell you right now. This boss is determined to kill you in one fell swoop. His attack power is so freaking strong, it will kill one of your characters very fast. My best suggestion is go ahead and just beat the ever-loving crap out of it if you can, like I am with the Mystic Art right now. And immediately after you do all the damage you can, when he's charging up at you, he walks really slowly, and he shoots his tail and stuff like that, but he will go ahead and just like swap his arms at you. His arms are blades, and they will hurt you, like that. So be careful of this. This does a lot of damage. Veywind's Eye is one of the strongest monsters in the game, and it's really best advised to be prepared for this. As you see, Rowan is down for the count already. I'm just like, well, shoot. And Mila is down too. See how fast he can do it? He can shoot, he can hurt you from a distance. So my best advice right now is to eventually just stay away from him whenever he is, like, you know, trotting towards you. Whenever he's trotting towards you, he's going to attack you. But the thing is, though, with all this power that Veywind's Eye has, he really telegraphs a lot of his moves. And you can snap pivot around it. I'm not really doing so well because I'm not really that great at snap pivoting. I am not the best Tails player, but I'm going to say this right now. He does telegraph his moves very easily. But it's really easy to knock him down with moves like, you know, Beast and Aqua Sweep and stuff like that. And as you see, I'm already down for the count. I had Leia go ahead and just use the life bubble on me. But if you keep wailing on him, you eventually will get him. Thing is, though, it's just stay away from his front side. He will attack you, and it really hurts. since he doesn't have this elemental exploit like all the other bosses have, this becomes a really pain in the butt to do. Now, there is another boss in Olympias that's like this, that's on the high road like this, but it's not a Devil's Beast. This guy isn't a Devil's Beast. At first, when I first played this game, I thought this was. Because I've never seen this monster before. I was like, what the heck is this thing? And I attacked it, and I saw a little mini conversation going on. And I was like, oh shoot, is this a Devil's Beast? If that's the case, I was going to run away. And I looked at the level, and I was just like, huh. I was like, well, no, it doesn't have a weapon coming out on him. But honestly, he's got also another move right here. He kind of like, his wings kind of like glow red. And he shoots pollen. That's his like long distance attack. But yeah, I noticed that this guy wasn't a Devil's Beast right off the bat. This guy has something else though, and you do want to fight him. But we defeated Veywind's Eye, and we get a lot of experience points for it. That was a tough battle, but the thing that he gives you is a mysterious jewel. This is one of the 23 mysterious jewels that we need for that last side quest that we need later in the game. Yes. So you do have to fight this thing.
Alright, not bad.
If you want to do that. But after all that ordeal, after you kill this guy, you get a title. It's called Cleanser of Corruption. Yeah. Cleanser of Corruption. I couldn't read that for a second. You do get a title for beating that monster. Holy, that fight is always a pain in the butt trying to do. And a lot of these fights with these super bosses, I mean, granted they are super bosses for a reason, they really hurt a lot. Actually, I wouldn't really call these super bosses. We haven't really seen the super boss. There's only one super boss in this game, and we can't do that just yet. There's these are optional bosses. That's actually the best way to say it. But with that, that will pretty much be everything that we really need to do on Torbalan Highroad. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And inside this wall, here's an hourglass. I could have used this thing. You know, I keep forgetting I have these things. This is one of the biggest gripes I have about this. You got all these useful items. I just keep forgetting that I have it. It's gripes with my gameplay, to be perfectly honest. It's not a gripe with the game. This is a gripe with my gameplay. I keep forgetting I have these items. Hourglasses are really useful in certain situations. Like, Veywind's Eye would have been a lot better for me if I used an hourglass. What an hourglass does is pretty much slows down time for enemies and allow you to, you know, wail on them and just kill them really fast and stuff like that. So, honestly, if you're having trouble, use these items. There's also another item that I could have used, but I don't really like using it. That's why I just avoid using the item altogether. It's called an All Divide. An All Divide, what it does is it halves damage you dish out and receive. So, if a boss is giving you too much trouble, it's doing like a massive amount of damage, you can actually have the damage that he does, but it's at the cost of you doing half the damage and stuff like that. I mean, I don't really like using that very much because, like I said before, it kind of like halves your damage, and I don't like that much, but honestly, when I really come to think about it now, I'm just, you know, nitpicking at that point. I think about it and like, well, you know, dealing half damage isn't as bad as you think it is whenever you're in control of hitting every button combination and stuff like that. You just have to pretty much just survive the ordeal, if you know what I mean. It's not like regular turn-based RPGs where you do such and such damage and you have to wait a turn. No, this is active time battles where, you know, you're in control of a character and you're pulling off all these moves on these monsters and stuff like that. And that's why I like this game a lot, is because it's actually kind of like an action-based RPG. It's not really like turn-based at all. It doesn't have any turn-bases whatsoever in it. It literally just, you know, you fight. It's just like any other, like, it's like a 2D brawler in a way, where you just, you know, just go around and just beat the ever-living crap out of enemies. But, anyways, I kind of got lost here. Kind of sidetracked a little bit. I was like, oh, I already went through this cave. But, anyways, we're on the northern region of Torbalan Highroad. And there is going to be another Ifreeze treasure here. I know I said that we found everything. That was a complete lie. I don't know why I said that, but there is another Ifreeze treasure here in this branch. But we get some more jet black feathers. So we're doing pretty good in jet black feather department. But right here is another Ifreeze arc right here. In this tree right here in the northern region of Torbalan Highroad. So if we check it, it will have a hunter's monocle. It'll increase item drop rate by 30% with where defeats an enemy. So you'll get a better drop rate for your against monsters. And as you guys can see, there's a gigantic tower looming in the distance. That is Helioborg Fortress. And there's another monocle that kind of does the same thing that we just picked up in the Ifreeze arc. But off in the distance, you can see the gigantic tower right off in the distance. That is Helioborg Fortress. That is our next destination to go and help Balin. Because, for all we know, Balin could be in trouble because Helioborg got attacked. So, we gotta go ahead and see what attacked it and stop it. Put an end to it. So, anyways, let's go inside the fortress.
Where is everyone?
A Spyrex casing.
This looks like a storage space for Spyrexes, but the contents are destroyed.
Did Gaius do this?
Whoever it was leveled the larger facilities and warehouses, but left the other buildings intact.
In other words, their goal is not an invasion or to wipe out the military.
Mila, we should hurry and look for Balin.
Right.
Now that cutscene, I kind of really like that cutscene a little bit. You guys know that Elise is still really upset with Alvin.
Hungry, I can't go on.
And,
Jude,
you know, she's really, she flat out said, I hate you, to Alvin. And yet, she saw Alvin there. And you can kind of see she's starting to be concerned about him. Because that's his cousin, that's his family, that's in trouble. And yet she still wants to make it priority to find Balin. And, you know, that you can kind of see that even though Alvin's done really bad stuff, Elise still cares about him a little bit. Even though she flat out said, I hate you. You know, and stuff like that. And that's why I like Elise's character. You can honestly really tell she's still a child. She's growing up and maturing and stuff like that, but she still has the innocence of a child in a sense. You know, I know a lot of people have, you know, animosity towards other people that hurt them in the past, and in that kind of situation, they wouldn't really give two flying Fs about, you know, somebody's family member being in danger if they've hurt them and stuff like that. But you can kind of see that even though Alvin's done a lot of stuff wrong, Elise still cares a little bit. But anyways, guys, the next episode of Let's Play Tales of Xillia, we are going inside Helioborg Fortress and trying to find Balin. So with that, I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care, everybody.